All right, let's see if you guys can see me and hear me, and we will get a move on with this clown show here. All right. Do. See if you guys. Nobody yet. Okay, here comes my screen. I can see me. Jacob says 5 by 5. Healthy disrespect. How about a couple more, and then I'll know for sure. Picture looks clear. Finley says 5 by 5. Lorna. Okay. All right, good deal. Well, welcome to Post Christmas Tuesday. I hope everybody had a nice holiday, all things considered. Nothing like adding a little bit of weather to the craziness that we had. And what is it? I think the death toll up in upstate New York is now like 60. Saw a sad story today where there was a girl that was stuck in her car, videoed. I think she sent it Instagram or TikTok or something like that to her family. Said she was scared and either froze to death or died from carbon monoxide or something like that. It's just, I don't know. It frustrates the hell out of me that people go out in that, but I don't know if she was, going to work. For all I know, she was a nurse going to the hospital or something like that. So I mean, that's possible. But the crap of that, the police, the fire department, EMS, nobody can get to these people because they were getting stuck. They got snow plows up there. And then, of course, Kathy Hochul calls in the National Guard today to what I think she's got 20 MPs or something in Buffalo to enforce the travel restrictions, not to stop all the looters, but to make sure that Joe and Jane Average aren't trying to go to work or find food or something like that. You know, again, I mean, she's an idiot. She makes Cuomo look smart. But, hey, that's always the rule of politics. Find somebody to be your underling who's dumber than you are. I mean, like I said, Joe had it tough, but he found cackling Cammy. One of you guys sent me a story today. This one frustrated the crap out of me. We all knew about this storm coming for what, 10 days thereabouts, and there was a story today about some guy who was whining to the news that for Christmas he had to eat cereal. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, if all you had in your house was cereal and you're bitching on Christmas Day you've got to eat cereal, when were you planning on going to buy your meal for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day? On Christmas Eve? You know, there's some things that even if you're not a prepper or whatever, unless you have your head so far buried in the sand, so I'll keep it polite, you had to know, hey, I might get stuck in the house for a couple of days. They're only predicting 6 feet of snow. And I mean, sure, maybe I sound cold, but sometimes I just look and go, how stupid is humanity? And then I smack myself upside the head and go, Biden's in the White House. That answers that question. So, yeah. Crazy stuff with this whole storm going on. So, give you a fun. Told you guys, a lot of you guys made the comment today that I will love learning how to shoot a bow. The first experience with this has already been fun. Somebody asked me what it was. It's what brand or whatever. It's SAS, which I think is Southland Archery Services or something like that. And the type of bow it's a Siege. It's like $120 bow. It's nothing fancy by any means, okay? But I figure it had good reviews, by archery magazines and stuff like that as a good beginner's bow. And it had some good reviews on YouTube. I was like, okay, that's good. So that was the one I asked for. That's the one I got. And of course, you get it, and it comes in a million pieces. And the funny part was, there's no instructions. Now, mind you this, like I said in my video, I have never handled a bow ever in my life, okay? So the terminology is meaning next to nothing to me, and I'm trying to find out how to put this thing together. So I figure, okay, I'm gonna go look on YouTube. Nah, I mean, there's bits and pieces. The company that made it has a real quick one of how to put the sight on, how to put the whisker biscuit on, and how to put the uh, I just lost the term for it, quiver on there. Okay. And I'm going, okay, that helps. But I still got all these parts. What do I do with all this? So I'm trying to bounce around to different videos to see where these things go on and see if anybody. I wound up watching like 6 or 7 different videos to find bits and pieces where each part went on. I got it mostly done, but that was about 2 hours or 3 hours, and it probably would be 15 minutes to put the thing together if I knew what I was doing. But had to find what it was and then figure things out and by what somebody showed on YouTube. So yes, I mean a lot of you guys commented this morning. YouTube is great to learn how to do stuff, but like I said, until you get your hands on it, you don't know how to do it. And I'm looking at this going, okay, which way do they have this thing oriented? And okay, where's the holes they're trying to, which screw fits, which Allen wrench fits. I'm like, oh my God, forget it. I got it together. So that was it. Haven't done anything yet with it. Then the fun part was trying to fit how to put the arrowheads onto the see, told you I can't think of what the arrow's called. Can't even think of that now. The bolt. Okay. And I'm looking at this going, it just slides in. It's like, okay, what you got to do is glue this part in, and then you screw in the, okay. Again, no instructions, trying to figure this stuff out. So, but we got it. So it'll be fun when it warms up here. A couple of days, I'll go out and build a target in the yard or something, because Mrs. P's been asking me to build a target so we can practice our knife throwing here rather than, just doing it with Mr. and Mrs. Mountaintop Preps when we go over there. So I figure, all right, I will build a range in the backyard. Unfortunately, it's not big enough that I can get out and shoot a weapon, but, I mean, a gunpowder weapon, but can use these and have some fun, practice a little bit, get used to it, and, another tool. But, it's one of those things, like I said today, keep learning new skills, new things, because you never know what you got to do. Somebody made the comment to me today, yeah, you're going to go through hundreds of dollars on arrows to figure out how to do this. I'm like, wonderful. get a $100 bow to spend $300 on bolts. So it's like, okay, something's not right here. It's like, why does this sound like made in China to me? But all right, it is what it is. It's still another tool to have in the quiver. So that was pretty much it for me today, other than, like I said, tearing down cardboard boxes and things like that, doing that, getting all the fun stuff. But it's been cold here. It's supposed to get up. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I think tomorrow we're supposed to hit 50. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think we're in the 60s. So, but it snowed this morning. So, thank you, Grand Solar Minimum. This is what's going on. And then, of course, all the rest of you guys, I saw in here in a couple of the comments, oh, it's going to be 70 down here. And other people going, it's 7 below here. Yeah, welcome to winter, depending on where you live. So, all right. So that was the fun around here. But I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I hope Santa was good to you. I hope you have fun plans for New Year's Eve, whatever you're going to do. As I mentioned last week, tonight is the last live stream of 2022, as there will not be a live stream on Saturday night. I'm going to be up with Mr. and Mrs. Mountaintop Prep's house, and we usually get together and play board games and whatever until midnight, and then at 12:01 everybody yells Happy New Year, and we all go home and go to bed. But I'm getting too old for the rest of it. So it's like not going out anywhere, doing anything. Board games, that sounds good to me. But so that was the fun. But you guys will get on New Year's Eve the annual. Let's see how my January 1st predictions came out. See if I can improve on my record of last year of 4-4-3. We'll see if we do any better this year. But then again, we had to have one asshole in the comments today saying, "You said gas prices were going to skyrocket after after the elections." Yeah, just being a prick, But we get those every day. But yeah, okay, fine. I figure he must walk on water at this point or something like that because God knows nothing anybody else has ever figured might happen didn't, right? So, you know, but you always got to love these people on YouTube that, the couch commandos, the keyboard warriors, they're smarter than everybody. Sure. Do I make mistakes? Absolutely. I'm human. Okay. The things that I figure are going to happen come true? Yes. To some, not? Yes. Guess what? All of us do that. So, but, you always got to love when somebody decides they're going to be, you know, bigger than their britches. It's usually mean, you get the measuring contest and they come up about that big. So, but that's about that. So, but Gas Buddy did come out today and said expect to see $4 gas at the beginning of the year. So, who knows? It's only what 339 here or something like that. No, wait a minute. What are we? 269. I'm sorry. Yeah. So if we go up 40% back to $4, that's 50% increase. Okay, but who knows? All right, so let's get into the normal here. We'll get into some Q&A, so I shut up already. But thank you, moderators, for being here. Obviously, you guys know we are down a moderator. If anybody didn't hear, North Shore passed on Saturday morning after his battle. So, again, I apologize for holding off until Monday to tell everybody, but in talking to his friend and talking to Wade, his brother, it was decided that we were going to wait till after Christmas to tell everybody, not to be Debbie Downer. And then, of course, we all wanted to let Wade announce it first and then get it out to the masses. So we were down one moderator, but Sean's still watching from above. So he'll keep the riffraff out of here that way, too. All right, so guys, if you got questions for me, please put them in all caps, just like every other YouTube channel. And the only thing that we require around here is that we treat each other civilly with respect. Disagreement is totally fine. Being an asshole will get you kicked out. So try to keep it PG-13. Your teenagers have heard the language I'll use occasionally. Your 6-year-old probably shouldn't be in the room. This is not a Santa stream. So PG-13 is good. We don't have to keep it to G tonight. So, all right, let's get into some Q&A. I will get to the top. Guys, I try to get to as many questions as I can. Please understand, I can't get to all of them. I try to. If I've answered a question already, we'll skip it. But if you're posting a question at 10 minutes to 9, pretty much you can bet I'm not going to get that far because I'm usually 15 minutes behind on trying to keep up with what you guys are typing and me trying to get my mouth. Starting off, Ultra Mega Patriot. Ignorance is rampant in the United States. Joe's in the White House. Yeah, that'll pretty much be true. Okay. Texas Sass. Common sense isn't so common anymore. People don't prepare and then complain about not being prepared. Yes, okay, and exactly what I talked about at the beginning. And then they bitch that it's somebody else's responsibility. What do you mean the grocery stores are closed? Heard that too today, Oh, gee, because you know what? All those employees, they can't drive on the road either. They're on a travel restriction as well, It's like, sorry, AOC, meat doesn't come from the grocery store. People have to go to work. Somebody's got to unlock the door. If nobody can go do that, the store's closed. Okay, moving on down the road. Jay Myers, never heard of that brand. I'm assuming you're talking about my bow and arrow. Yeah, it's like even one of the videos said it's not a well-known brand or anything. I mean, it's one of these. One video said it's, how do you put it? It's like one type that 6 different companies put their label on it or whatever it would be. Like I said, I mean, it's a beginner's bow. That's it. I mean, I could easily, well, not I could, but I mean, you can easily go out and find, multiple thousands of dollars of bows. I've never shot one in my life. I'm not going to spend that kind of money. I mean, I'll buy a starter, and if I get good at it, maybe I'll upgrade someday. But I got to learn somewhere. You know, the basics. I'm not looking to make, you know, 50-yard hit a quarter 3 times or something. If I can, great. Okay, but right now I got to learn how to make sure it goes that way. I don't kill my fingers. Let's see. Ken Harrison, pinball, can you hunt with it? From what I saw in the videos, yes. Okay. Uh, Again, I don't know enough about it yet. I haven't fired it once, so I can't tell you. And again, asking me for accuracy or something like that. Again, we're talking pure amateur here. So somebody that knows, was it Survival Lily? Is one of the videos I watch. She's actually the video that when I found this on the recommendations, I found her video and watched her put the whole thing together. And yeah, she's in there putting, teeny tiny little shot groups together. But then again, she knows, a bow inside and out. So I'm assuming yes, you could. It's what 55 pounds pressure on it or something like that. So those of you guys that know more than I do about the feet per second on that, go from there. Chivo 61944. Hope you're all doing well. Package came today. Super excited to open it soon. There you go. That was that was the last trivia contest giveaway. So good. Glad it got there. So I guess everything that I sent out made it. So that's good. Now we just get back into the other stuff, and you know what's coming again. So I got some big ones coming here soon, guys. So that ought to be fun. Dog Mom, hey Pinball, got the gas bill here today in Missouri. Commodity charge went from $1 per CCF, was a cubic foot, to $1.40 in 1 month. Nice. Yeah, because we're sending all the natural gas to Europe because Joe doesn't want them buying it from the Russians. Joe's war. Arthur Stevens, is it a crossbow or a compound? It's a compound bow. I've got the little pistol crossbow. I love that thing. But as for a full-size crossbow, no, I do not have one of those. I really have no intention of getting one of those. Maybe as I get older or something, if I can't pull this one, maybe. But right now, I want to learn how to use a crossbow. Something I've wanted to do for years, and I never got around to it. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do this. Elaine Pruden, just don't dry fire it. Love my quiet times. No, what? Somebody else told me that today, and I never, again, because I don't know anything. And I mean, I did pull back on, but when I released it, I kept my hand on the cord, bowstring, whatever. Again, pardon me, because I don't know the terminology. Yes, I will look like a fool with this, but I'm trying to learn. Please understand that. I'd rather look like a fool and try to learn than how does it go? Better to look like a fool than open your mouth and remove all doubt or something like that. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm doing because I don't. You guys know me. That's never been my style. Sharon Carson, what's happening with Title 42? So the Supreme Court came out today that Justice Roberts had put a moratorium on them canceling it last week. It was supposed to go on the 21st, and we were supposed to get this influx. And because of what some district court judge said, cancel it. Roberts said, no, we're going to hear this, from the lawsuit from Republican states. So the case has been docketed for hearing for oral arguments to be made sometime in February. I want to say it's around February. If I remember correctly, it's either February 6th or February 23rd. Talk about having my days mixed up. But sometime in February, and then they will hear oral arguments. But I guess one of the sticking points is the Republican states are saying, if the federal government's not going to protect the British, we're going to do it ourselves. And so that kind of gets into whose responsibility is to protect the border. Is it a state border or is it a federal border? I mean, we know it's both, you know, but the federal government should have the responsibility. If they don't do it, are the states allowed to? So, which will be interesting because we know California and New Mexico are solid blue, and Arizona has cheated its way into being blue. So maybe they don't come in Texas; they're just going to have to go further west. Jeff Savage, great to see you live again, brother. Need help with the bow? Let me know. I'm going to have to go get it tuned and probably fitted. Though the 55-pound pull on it is pretty comfortable for me. So I don't think I'm going to have any change on that. But, you know, again, we're talking about draw and everything, and that was pretty comfortable as well. So I'm hoping, oh well, but I'm going to have, you know, just like any weapon, I'm going to have to go out and zero it. I'm going to have to make sure everything's done. And I've never done this before, so it's going to be an exercise in futility, you know, because I'll put up a target 10 yards away or whatever you zero these things at, and I'll have one at 11 o'clock and one at 4 o'clock and one at 7 o'clock and go, gee, where am I off? Yeah, I can zero a rifle, I can zero a pistol. Well, I've shot enough of them. This is going to be new. So, and I'll probably let you guys let you see me making a fool of myself. So, but I was able to zero the pistol crossbow. So, maybe this one won't be that difficult. Pighead Water Buffalo, idea please to prevent my tub sink drain from freezing next time. Left water dripping and it froze up the pipe. City lines, no drainage for 2 days. Pumped out sinks and dumped it out this time. Okay, depending on where your pipe is. And again, I don't know if you're in a condo, you're in an apartment, you're in a house, whatever, basement or anything like that. But you can, once it's outside the house and buried, okay, again, depending on where you live, you'd think you'd be okay because they're supposed to bury those things below the frost line. So you don't have that problem. So my guess is the freeze happens somewhere either in the wall or in your basement, your crawl space, whatever it would be. Certainly you can insulate it. I have a feeling we might have had some ice buildup in our drain pipe too, because I told you about the cold water, and then we had some kitchen sink back up, but we've been having issues there. I think I need to get my sink snaked out because we got real hard water here. Or you can get one of those electric wires that you plug in literally, and you wrap it around the pipe to keep it warmer. And you know, you can get a thermostatic plug where, you know, you can leave it plugged in all the time, and if the temperature of that plug drops below 32, then that'll come on. So but yeah, you're either talking about insulating it or depending on where you are. If you live in Buffalo, I definitely get the electric to keep it warm. You know, if you live in South Carolina, I'd say, all right, you know what, this is a rarity that this happens. Insulate the pipe. That'd probably be better. Rice-A-Roni, pinball, call Pellissippi State. I took archery at Vol State, and they probably have the same athletic program. They'd be happy to help, I'm sure. Okay, I know where that is. That's down in Fountain City, so that's 40 minutes from here or whatever it is. That wouldn't be terribly bad. So, yeah, okay. I never even thought about the colleges and stuff, but that'd be. You'd think, you know, I don't know. You go back to some of the community colleges, and you know they used to have PE programs or whatever. I don't know if they do anymore. I mean, my mother went to college when I was probably 7 or something like that. I remember she had to take a class in badminton, you know, because had to get a PE credit. It's, you know, I mean, talk about something silly. You know, here it was. It's like, we'll take the tuition money. Really, I mean, how do you fail a class in badminton? But yeah, wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, that's a good idea. I will check that out. Never thought of that one either. That's why we're here. We help each other. Holly H, what did I get PBJ for Christmas? I can't say because I do know sometimes she watches these videos, and if I say, then she's gonna know because she won't be here until next weekend. I think she's gonna be here, and that's somewhere around the 4th. So late next week or whatever, she's coming in, and we will do Christmas part 2, and that's when we'll exchange gifts with her and everything. Christmas Eve here was just me and Mrs. P and the dogs, and then she comes in. She spends Christmas with her mom and her, cousins and everything like that. My ex's whole side of the family on Christmas, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. And then she comes down here and spends 5 days or whatever with us. So, uh, Cersei, visit a local sporting goods store. Problem is, there ain't a local sporting goods store. The nearest one is going to be well over an hour away. So I already looked to see where archery is and stuff like that. Not that you guys know where I am, but I'm either looking at going to Morristown, which is over an hour away, Maryville, which is the south side of Knoxville. Okay, so I'd have to go all the way through the city and go to the other side, or have to go out. I think it's out in Clinton, which it's further than Clinton. So, and no matter what I'm doing, anything is more than an hour away to get to a sporting goods store that's got anything to do with archery. Okay. HGS video. When can we start calling you Robin Preparedness or Pinball? And never, because I guarantee I ain't getting that good. So, though I like to rob from the rich and give to the poor part, or steal from the rich, whatever you want to call it. Huts John, everything I know about archery I learned from watching the Denver Broncos against the Lakers. Okay, that makes so little sense it actually makes sense. That pretty much describes me. Farm Girl 64, I got an AR and a fluffy puppy for Christmas. Please don't use them both at the same time. Okay, the puppy is not target practice. Unless you got a Nerf AR, maybe then, but even then, that's still cruel. Let's see. Susie D, take your bow to a sporting goods store to check it out. That's why I was looking for an archery store today. I got to take it somewhere just to get it tuned and everything like that. Make sure I put everything together right. I'll just walk in there. Here I am. I'm the stupid rube. Please tell me I got to learn how to do this. And the way I look at it this way, guys, everybody had to learn everything. Everybody had zero experience in everything you did one time in your life. Okay. And the people who don't admit that are the fools. The people who go up and say, I don't know, please help, are the ones, in my opinion, who would get a lot more respect from me, at least, than somebody that comes up and says, I've never done this before, but it's easy. Really? Okay. Tell me what's so easy. You had to learn how to walk. Okay? Walking's pretty easy. We had to learn how to do it, and somebody had to help you. Roddy's rule: learn how to shoot it natural without the sights. Then it becomes muscle memory. I saw one of the videos says he takes it straight out of the box. Okay, doesn't put no sights on it, no nothing on it or whatever, and go there. I figure I'll get there eventually, but right now I'm going to use every assistance I have to learn how to do it. Mac X, hey Pinball, did I get the antennas I sent you? If those are the ones that almost look like paracord or whatever it is, yes, I did. Those things are really cool. Thank you for that. If it's something different, no. Jim R, go find a 4-H archery instructor. Ask them for a lesson. Most will do it happily. Okay, there's another good place to do it. Okay. Land that I love. Did the pond freeze? Oh yeah. Nobody was out walking on it. Not that cold, but everything in there was freezing. Neighbors called today and says, you got to go look at your pond, because like I said, it snowed. I go, it stands out and looks really pretty because the pond was completely covered with snow and the grass wasn't, so you saw this big white patch. So but yeah, I don't know how thick it got. I mean, it certainly wasn't thick enough. If we had weather like that for 2 weeks, I could probably go ice skating, but 3 days is not going to do it. Okay, Happy Gardener. Say arrows are shafts and crossbows have bolts. Okay. Got it. And I guarantee I'll make the same mistake 6 more times. I'll learn. That's part of the fun. Uh, Crystal clear. I asked my kids to buy preps for their families rather than buy us gifts because that's how they gave you a gift. Your gift is the, I know they're okay. And a lot of times as a parent, that's more important than anything else. I know that how that one goes. Big Dog Ma, thank you for your kind words of Sean. We will all miss him. Yeah, we will. And like I said in that video was straight from my heart, guys. Sean was a friend of mine. I had a lot of respect for him. I still have a lot of respect for him. He was a good man. And, like I said, he'd give the shirt off his back, in 30 below weather to somebody who was cold, even if he didn't have another shirt. So that's just the kind of guy he was. Live stream the card game. Boring. Susan Millay recently moved to Zone 7A. Okay, then you're going to be a hair ahead of me in planting. Though you can probably, your seed starting you can probably do around the same time that I do. So it'd be, depending on what you're doing, late January for some, then starting to really hit it in February. So. Charlie Knoll, get a large round straw bale for a target when it breaks down, compost it. Yeah, you know what a large round straw bale costs right now? $100. I agree with you on the composting it and stuff like that, but I had to find one, and I'm just gonna say this. I'd rather that straw go to the local cattle ranchers for their cows than me to sit there and shoot arrows at, okay? Because the guys around here, that's how I get my food. Treasure Seekers, gas prices are going up. Just changed ours up 20 cents yesterday. Yeah, but again, you have to have all these people that think they know better. Just saying. Not that I got all the answers, but yeah. No, we know why gas prices came down. Let's see. Waldo Prepper, our gas jumped 40 cents today in Indiana. Does that count? I haven't been to the store in a couple of days. I didn't go out in this weather at all. So, JD Paul, have you heard anything about a Fourth Reich being pushed in Europe, Germany, Poland? I read an article on that today. That was, and this is Medvedev, okay, the former president of Russia before Putin, and he had some of the most insane predictions going forward. One of them was he was talking about a Fourth Reich and war, France going to war against Germany. And my favorite one, that his prediction was that Elon Musk was going to be, that we were going to throw Joe Biden out. There was going to be a civil war in the United States. Joe Biden was going to get thrown out of the White House, and Elon Musk was going to be the new president. Anybody remember where Elon Musk was born? It wasn't Kenya, but it was pretty close. Not qualified, okay? And if there's a civil war in the United States and it's a political one, conservatives against the liberals, the conservatives are going to be fighting to keep the Constitution. So I don't think their first act is go, Yeah, let's get a guy who's born in South Africa and make him president of the country. Okay. Medvedev ain't all there. Central Texas farmer gas jumped 24 cents in Texas here today. M. Sean, North Carolina, up 20 cents in a week. Hmm. Wonder what that guy's name was again. Guaranteed he's not here because, he probably didn't like my comments. Daddy of 3, Mama of 3 here. It finally stopped snowing 6 feet later. No, we're not in Buffalo. There you go. God, I I'll say this. I mean, Blizzard of '78. I was a kid. Okay, so I mean, I remember it, but I didn't have to drive in it or anything like that. But I remember living in New Hampshire. I lived in New England for what, 2010, 11, 12. Yeah, those 3 winters. And the day, I mean, I'll give you this. I was going to stay at a friend's house in New Hampshire. And as I got to their house, before I even got to the house, their neighbor was stuck in a ditch. And so I out there with tow chains pulling them out of the ditch before I even pulled up the driveway and said, "Hi, I'm here." And I mean, I remember snow drifts. I mean, I've always had a big truck, okay? Halfway up my door of my truck. I remember parking lots of, where they plow the snow, 18, 20 feet high that they have the snow plow where those of you in New England, you know what I mean, where, they plow it right to the corner where the only way you can look left if you're trying to make a turn or whatever is literally stick the nose of the vehicle out in traffic and hope nobody hits you. Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to move south, Vegas, and then here, I'm sick of snow. It was nice to get a little bit, look at it a little bit around Christmas. I'm ready for 75-degree temperatures again. Montana Grizz fan, hello from central Montana, where it was 58 and it's 49 right now. And weren't you guys like 37 below here 48 hours ago? I mean, that's just 80-degree temperature swing. Okay. Grand solar minimum. Not climate change. Yeah, how's AOC's book doing right now? Global warming. Yeah. Rocket science. Jay Myers, what's throwing me? You keep saying bolts. Is it a crossbow or a compound? It's a compound bow. And again, it's just terminology, and I apologize for getting it wrong. But like I said, I'm a newbie at this. If I call it arrows, then everybody's pissed at me. Still get it wrong. You're trying to get it right. Aristocrat, he's going to eat his insult. Gas prices here went from $2.89 to $3.09 in 2 days. Yeah. You guys know it. I know it. But, there's always the trolls, always the people out there. They go after the big channels, the little channels, whatever would be, all those in between. They... And none of them have a pot to piss in. I'm going to go on a prepper channel and I've got 3 boxes of macaroni and cheese. I'm ready for a snowstorm. Yeah. Okay. I own 2 guns. I can do anything. Okay. Rose, just an FYI for those who follow Autumn at Autumn's Backyard Garden. She's up and running. She emailed me yesterday. I think it was yesterday was Monday, yeah, that her main channel is back up. She is running on her backup channel for a little bit. They're still kind of trying to put all the videos back. There's still a few that she's missing, but they recovered everything, so that was good. Treasure Seekers, he will always be in our hearts and minds. I'm assuming you're talking about North Shore. Yes, he will. Okay. And we shot to the bottom. Kitsy Witty, my birthday is Sunday, January 1st. Can I get a shout out? Happy birthday to you. And that's as much as I'm singing. So, okay. And no, that's non-alcoholic beer. It's just okay, story. It's in the cup or in the mug. because I forgot I had two 12-packs sitting in the back of the car, and it got cold here. And so a bunch of them froze, so the cans ballooned up, and a few of them popped. But so then I had to thaw them out, but now they look like ovals, and so cracked them open when they thawed out and pour them in there because round bottoms don't sit flat on a table. Yeah, waste nothing. Let's see. The Robin Hood of preparedness. Thanks, Craig. Mark, I live outside Maryville. What do I need? I need you guys to move this way. I need the archery store to come up here. Let's see. Ice 124. What are good sites to buy Freedom Seeds? The two I get mine from, I get my rifle ammunition from Freedom Munitions. I get my pistol ammunition from Midway USA. I find they have the best inventory for what mine like to eat and the best prices. So let's see. And I've never had a problem at all with quick shipping with either one of them. And no, I think it depends on the order if you get free shipping or not. But yeah, I just picked up another 1,000 rounds of 22, I think, this time. So try to get something, add to the armory every once in a while, and 22 was on sale this time, 22 hella points. I was like, okay, we'll grab some of those this time. So. Mrs. Keystone, I'll come up and help you. Was an archery instructor for years. There you go. Come on. Show me what to do. Jay Myers, some shops take advantage of people new to the sport of archery. Well, try, okay? A fool and his wallet are soon parted. I'm not a fool, okay? I always laugh when I get the phone calls. You need to buy this or whatever it is. If I needed to buy it, I'd be coming to you, okay? I know what I need to buy. What you're telling me, you're trying to get me to want to buy something, and I know the difference between needs and wants. It's like, I remember buying cars, buying a car one time. The one new car I ever bought, it was a 1997 Dodge Intrepid. And I went to a Dodge dealership in Downers Grove, Illinois. And the guy makes a comment to me, he's showing me the car and everything like that. And he goes, this is what we'll sell it for. And I said, no, this is what I'll buy it from. And I said, well, I'm going to go over to Elmhurst Dodge and see what they'll do. He goes, if you drive out in the street, he goes, my offer's off the table. Okay. So I drove out in the street, went over to Elmhurst Dodge, bought the car, drove it back to Downers Grove Dodge, and said, got my deal. That was it. It's like, try to strong arm me. I'll go somewhere else. I don't care. No, you're not gonna convince me to buy something because it's in your best interest. And then I just loved rubbing his nose in it and going, yeah, I just spent $14,000 or whatever it was on a car. You got nothing. Definitely P. Have you heard of electroculture for gardens? I have never heard of that, so I have no clue. Waldo Prepper. Sometimes county extension office offers archery classes too. I highly doubt it in where I am, because, like I said, there's 19,000 people in my county. I can't think that they're going to have something for that few people. Charlie Knoll saying same thing. Get a round hay or straw bale for a target. I might get a couple of square bales because I will be using those in my garden. My sweet potatoes, and so I can use those for a while and then turn them into sweet potatoes. But yeah, round hay bale, I don't need that sitting around the yard all year. I got enough mess in my backyard I got to work on this year. John Fortwangler, Delilah says, give pinball a paw up. Back at you, Delilah. Jack Bauer, once I get the peep sight and sight set, it will be a piece of cake to master. Once set up, you'll be in business. The only thing I've got left to put on that I didn't put on it today was the D-ring and the peep sight. Everything else I got put on. But I figure I've got to figure out. I didn't put those on because I want somebody to help me do it, because I can just put it anywhere, and is that going to do me any good? I want to put it in the right spots. So, because again, I don't know. Uh, let's see. Chris Meyer, do I have pin sights on the bow? It came with both. It came with the metal frame, the metal, whatever you want to call this thing, and two pin sights that would go through it, or it came with a lighted circle with the pin sights in it, a better sight. I put the round sight with the 5 pins on it rather than the steel plate with the 2 pins. Jay Myers, I have a PSE bow rated 375 feet per second, 60-pound pull with 30% let off. I know this is 55-pound pull, and for some reason, 70% let off is ringing a bell to me. Again, I don't quote me on that. I don't know the terminology. I got an idea what the pull is. Okay, I know what that is, but what the let off is, I'm not sure. Let's see. Renee Schwager, how long and what temp do you bake eggshells before crushing for the garden? Okay, you don't have to. I will say this, and I'll explain why. When you make your eggshells, okay, if you make hard-boiled eggs, you don't have to worry about it. But if you crack eggs and make scrambled eggs or whatever, make sure you rinse out those eggs first. You don't want any of the egg goo in the eggshells, and then you can leave them sit on the counter and dry out. Okay, that's not a big deal. You can crush them, and I've done that before. Just crush them and take a rolling pin to them in a Ziploc bag, and I literally get down and powder them, and then put it at the bottom of a hole for my tomatoes or peppers, and it's great for stopping blossom end rot. Okay, rather than go out and buy calcium nitrate or something like that. The reason I bake them, because I'm doing it with my coffee grounds, my banana peels, that sort of stuff. I just keep a scrap bucket where my coffee grounds are, where the eggshells go, where my banana peels go, and stuff like that. And of course, it all kind of gets a little mixed together. I get coffee grounds on my eggshells or whatever. I throw all that on a cookie sheet and I bake it, because I need that to be completely dry, because I grind it all up together and then I make like a 10-10-10 fertilizer out of it. You can do it either way. The reason I bake them is because they've got coffee grounds on them and things like that. If you just leave the eggshells by themselves, you can just let them dry out on the counter and you're fine. Because then I put it all in mason jars or whatever, and then I use that as my fertilizer. Okay, so you don't have to. But when I do bake it, because I'm baking it with banana peels take longer to dry out. 250 for about an hour or so is usually about good. If you're just drying out the eggshells, 250 for 10 minutes is probably going to be plenty. Just Nana, go pick up a big stack of trash tires for a backstop. I've got with the pond, because again, I'm on a hill, okay, on the side of a mountain. There's somewhat of a berm here, and I figure where I'm going to set this up is so I'm kind of shooting into the berm, but then again, if I miss, it's going into the pond. So I'm still trying to figure stuff out. Just not shooting toward the house or toward the neighbors or anything like that. Even though the neighbors are 600 feet away or something like that. Be my luck, I get a flyer and this thing would keep going forever. I put it right inside of their house. Evil Rick, Rural King sells bow targets and some supplies. I've seen that, you got the deer targets and things like that. Maybe down the road, right now, an old cardboard box is going to work fine for me. Okay. Throw some newspaper in a cardboard box or whatever and go from there. And not looking at getting fancy. I got to learn how to use this thing. If I can hit a refrigerator box right now, I'm going to be happy. I'm not worried about if I can get it in shoulder blades with a deer. And Crystal Clear says the same thing. Make a target with cardboard. And there you go. Country Humans Network. Ice has to be 4 inches thick to walk on or 12 inches thick for a car to drive on. Well, I'm certainly not taking a car on my pond, and I wouldn't. Yeah, a couple of days here, even as cold as it got. If the ice was an inch thick, I'd be surprised. Uh, Jay Myers, today's archery equipment, hay won't stop arrows at all. Okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Say, did I see Steve Poplar's report tonight on Duke Energy losing a third of power on the weekend? I did not see Steve's report, no, but I have heard that Duke has been really got things screwed up in the Carolinas right now with uh, 6 hour blackouts, and then there's water issues because of it, and all sorts of crazy crap going on with it. But no, I did not see Steve's report. I was too busy trying to put together a bow and eating dinner. uh, Edward Peters, do I remember the blizzard of 78 in Michigan? I didn't move to Michigan until 79, so I remember the blizzard of 78 when I was in Chicago. Uh, Went through that story one time. Dad worked for American Motors. We got transferred up. He was working the American Center in Southfield and everything like that, but that was 79. Let's see. Vester Dillon, a burlap sack stuffed with rags is the best target. I got tons of sandbags. Those might work, but my fear is I break the screw it arrows. Okay. Jay Myers, heard East Tennessee going to get 4 feet of snow in my area. I'd love to know when. It certainly ain't going to come in the next week or so. We're going to be in the 60s. And we got 4 feet of snow. That if we got 6 inches of snow here, guys, that would completely shut down everything. Okay, uh, we just don't have the equipment to clear it. So we get 4 feet of snow. I'll be fine. I got heat. I got power. I got food. I got water. I'm good. Mary was able to get some $3 tiny cast iron skillets that I wanted for preps to cook with a tea light stove. Okay. I don't, tea lights are not going to get hot enough to heat up cast iron. Maybe a lot of them. I don't know. But if somebody's made a tea light stove that can get enough BTUs to heat up cast iron, I don't know of it. Elijah Mom, loved Kamala's visitors. Yeah, me too. Okay. I love how as soon as they got there, they were immediately put on another bus and shipped off somewhere else. Did you notice how that one goes? It's perfectly fine to let them just let loose in Texas or Arizona or whatever it is. But God knows if they get to Martha's Vineyard or Washington, D.C., we've immediately got to get them out of here and get them somewhere else. Right? That's how it works. And I'm still waiting for the crap with everybody coming up here to Tennessee with it, and Bill Lee putting his tail between his legs and, won't answer a question. It's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, put them on a bus and send them back? I mean, that is the correct answer. Okay. No, sorry. We don't need a bunch of illegals in Tennessee. I don't care what Joe wants. So maybe he's not tipping his hand. I don't know. But, like the running joke out here is, have you got your tag yet? Let's see. Here we shot to the bottom. Back up here. Okay. Doris P. Amen from North Louisiana about warmer temps. Stay well, all of you. Yeah, I think we all thank God it's going to get warmer. Let's see. Sue Pinball, was I born in Michigan? No, I was born in DuPage County, Illinois. suburb of Chicago. Actually in Hinsdale Hospital, lived at 55th and Cass and Westmont. And well, no, actually, that was I was born at Hinsdale Hospital. We lived in Westchester when I was born, and then we moved out when I was 4 to we were in Sterling for a year, but then moved back and we were over in Westmont, and then moved to Michigan in '79. Linda Friesen, pinball. My birthday was on the 14th. I want a song too. Happy belated birthday to you. And that's the end of this song. uh, Craig Cooley, bulk ammo is the best online ammo site. I've looked at them. I've never found what I wanted at good enough prices. I mean, and I cruise through when I'm looking for ammo, I look at all of them. You know, the one I'll tell you I'll never buy from is Dart because they're more expensive than anybody. Uh, I think we all know that. Fortune cookie. How do me and Mrs. P celebrate New Year's Eve? I said earlier we're going to go up Mrs. Mountaintop Preps, play board games, and just hang out with some friends. Susie D, please repeat where I buy the pistol refills, hollow point preferred. I use midwayusa.com. Mine really seem to like the MagTech rounds, and they've almost always have them in stock, and they've got the best prices I can find. CE, any favorite winter meals you and Mama P enjoy on the regular? One of them we had for dinner tonight, and a lot of you guys have made it, is Mrs. P's cream of chicken soup. That's one of my favorite wintertime meals, absolutely. But yeah, winter around here is a lot more soups and stews. So my chili gets going. We had my enchiladas the other day, but Mrs. P and the soups. You guys, a lot of you guys have gone watched the recipes for them on the playlist and made them. Mrs. P soups can't be beat. So, let's see. We are getting to the end. John Zismont, what brand of gun do you use your 22 cal for? Mrs. P has a M&P 22 pistol, and then I've also got a Ruger 22 rifle. Let's see. Elaine Pruden, if you have one of those places that shrink wrap boats, you might be able to get the scrap plastic and stuff a cardboard box. That'd make a great. Yeah, that would. You know, a lot of extra plastic. That'd be, God knows around. I've got styrofoam laying around here. That might work. Let's see. Hay bales. Jay says hay bales won't stop arrows. Okay. Definitely P. What seeds do I start indoors? Oh my God. Tomatoes, peas, beans, cabbage, cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, zucchini. What the hell else do I have going? No, radishes, beets. That's outside. Corn's outside. Garlic's outside. Onions is outside. Hang on a second. I'll tell you here. Let me pull up my garden plan. I'll tell you real quick. No, not real quick, but maybe I can. Let's see. I'll tell you what. And again, it depends on what you grow, but what I grow. Let's see. I've already got this thing in. Let me look. Because again, I've done videos on doing the seed starting and stuff like that in the past. A few of you guys asked me for videos today on using heat mats and stuff for videos, so I will do something like that this spring, because there are some that you want to use it for and some that you don't, because you can kill the seeds. But let's see if I pull up my list. Okay, and of course now it's going to slow. There we go. All right, what do I start inside? Arugula, lima beans, red cabbage, green cabbage, cantaloupe, bok choy, cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, dill, lettuce, parsley, peas, banana peppers, green peppers, jalapeno peppers, Marconi peppers, sweet potatoes. All three kinds of my tomatoes and my zucchini will all be started indoor this year. Is that enough? So, okay. Let's see. Oop, it is 9 o'clock. All right. One more real quick. Uh, Lex Ray Cat Maui slugs ate a lot of my crops last year. Any suggestions? I'm in Washington State. Uh, I know people have talked about things like putting eggshells in. That doesn't work. The best thing that you can do that's worked for me, if you know what beer traps are, okay, get yourself those short yogurt cups, the ones that are maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches high. Pour some stale beer in there and put out 4 or 5 of them around the crops that are getting eaten. The slugs go right into the beer trap. They drown themselves. It's the easiest, cheapest, best way to get rid of slugs. They're don't waste money on slug killer or anything like that. Beer traps work better than anything I've ever tried. All right, guys, I'm a minute late. Angry Prepper's probably going to get pissed, but I apologize. But Jason's turn. I'm out of here. Have a good evening. Pinball out.